And we're so happy to have Deepti Laurent with us back on the set for the press review. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Jeannie.
You're starting with a real shock story in Colombia over the death of a young indigenous activist.
That's right. It's garnering quite a bit of attention in the Hispanic press. His name was Brainer David Cucuñame. He was a 14-year-old environmentalist and part of the Indigenous Guard, which is an unarmed group seeking to protect indigenous lands from invasions by Colombian armed groups. The young boy was a member of the Nasa people, and he was with his father when he and another person were killed in an ambush on the weekend. Indigenous groups are blaming the attack on a group of dissidents linked to the now disbanded FARC.
Now, this is such a tragic story, but it's sadly just the latest in a series of killings of activists there.
That's right. And in fact, Colombia is the most dangerous place in the world for environmental activists, according to the United Nations Human Rights Office. The English version of El País notes that the young boy's death really highlights the dangers faced by activists in the country. At least 78 activists were killed last year in Colombia, most of them from that same region as the teenager. And NGOs warned that indigenous communities are the most affected by this violence as armed groups sort of jostle for power in these remote regions of Colombia.
Deepti, there's been lots of focus in the papers on Russia as well, amid those concerns that it could launch an attack on Ukraine at any moment.
That's right, and it's a focus of a really fantastically titled opinion piece from the New York Times today. Putin to Ukraine, marry me or I'll kill you. It is a little bit like that. Why is Putin threatening to take another bite out of Ukraine, the columnist asks? Well, not easy to answer when Putin is a, quote, one-man psychodrama with a giant inferiority complex towards America. The columnist even compares him to America's, quote, ex-boyfriend from hell who refuses to let us ignore him and date other countries like China. Why does he want to invade Ukraine? Well, it's because it's also better for him to have a Ukraine that fails and one that is thriving, one that joins the EU and develops its people and economy beyond an underperforming autocratic Russia, according to this writer.
In the UK, the British papers are having a field day again with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
Well, it's the partygate scandal that just keeps on giving, doesn't it, Jeannie? At 10 Downing Street, of course, accused of holding these wine and cheese boozers during the height of lockdowns. And on Tuesday, Boris Johnson said he hadn't been warned that such parties were against the rules, said by the man who sets the rules, The Independent says sarcastically on its front page. The Daily Star is far more explicit, calling him Bozo Johnson and likening him to Pinocchio lying through his teeth in this crisis that they call a pants on fire crisis.
All right, you've got something now that it's going to be great for our TV fans out there. Showtime's hit drama Yellowjackets. Now, this is a teen cannibalism soap that apparently could upend the Netflix binge.
Yeah, it's a really interesting article from The Independent. I haven't personally seen Yellowjackets, but it's a show that I know everyone can't really stop talking about right now. It's a show about a girls' high school football team surviving a plane crash, and it's sort of a survivalist thriller, a modern gender-flipped version of Lord of the Flies, if you like. But the real genius from Showtime has been to drop each episode weekly, aka the way things used to be done back in the day. And as a result, the thriller has created a lot of chatter and discussion and conspiracy theories and excitement and anticipation. And I quote this writer who says it's proved to be a modern iteration of something once thought to be nearing extinction, which is event television. And for this reason, the writer wonders whether it could put an end to the sort of Netflix model, which is based on binge and instant gratification.
Yeah, anticipation can be a good thing.
It is.
All right, you're going to wrap up now with Bono, the lead singer of U2. He made some surprising revelations about himself recently. What are those?
That's right. In a recent interview, he said he doesn't like the band's name. He calls it all a bit embarrassing. He finds most of their songs cringeworthy. He also said he can't listen to himself on the radio. He hates his voice in the band's early songs, and he's apparently only recently been able to sing well, which says a lot about us who love his early music, I guess. But, you know, he's got the band's got millions of streaming fans and they've got loads of Grammys. So I think we can safely say he has done something right in the past 30, 40 years that U2's been around.
Yeah, they've been around a long time. All right, Dickie, thanks so much for that. Great to have you back. Now, if you want to get a closer look at the press review, you can always check that out. Don't forget, on the website, that address is france24.com.